Hey guys, this is Debarshi, and today we are going to cover our first C++ programming tutorial. So, um, just to tell you what C++ is, C++ is a programming language. It is a high-level programming language that is typical in many of of um, of the operating systems that we use today. Um, so let's just begin. We're not going to start with our first program yet. We're going to first cover a few of the basic things that we need to cover, not just for C++, but for programming in general. Um, so what what we're going to do for C++ is we're going to use this program called an IDE. An IDE is an integrated development environment. I'm not going to write that out, but an IDE is an integrated development environment, and what it contains is an editor and a compiler. An editor, that's kind of like your text editor, like WordPad or something, and a compiler. Except this is all in one application. And it also contains a linker, and I guess we'll get more into the process of compilation later. Um, Linker, debugger, linker. We're just going to put etc. Okay, so an IDE consists of an editor, compiler, linker, debugger, etc. Um, so what we first need to establish is that computers are not smart. They are not smart at all. In fact, they are idiots. They listen to our every single direction, but they are incapable of making any choice without human direction or without code. So what code is essentially the program or each instruction that is given in C++. So typically machines know zeros and ones. That's what each computer is what each computers know, and this is called machine code. Machine code. So machine code consists of zeros and ones. And back in the 50s and early 60s probably, there were programmers who actually had to code in zeros and ones. Imagine how hectic that would be. We traditionally use base 10. Computers use binary numbers, zeros and ones. So imagine programming in base 2, which is binary. That's ridiculous. So so what we typically don't want to program in zeros and ones. I mean, I don't know, do zeros and ones make sense to you? Imagine programming this Windows Journal application from zeros and ones. That would be pretty hard, right? Like what number sequence would this drop down box be? What number sequence would this file menu be? You get the picture. It's extremely hectic to code in machine code. So instead, we typically use high-level languages. Now there's an alternative to this, which is a little bit more stringent. It's called assembly language, and it's a little bit easier than machine code, but not very much, and I don't recommend it. Hence the reason why I simply know how to program in C++ or Java or another high-level language. High-level languages are essentially C++, Java, Python, Ruby, anything that uses syntax like if, else, while, for. That's what a high-level language is. So to sum it up, I would say high-level languages use some English structures, simple English structures. They're not really English, but well, yeah, if, else, use simple. Okay, just scratch out that definition. I guess if you want to define a high-level language, it's really hard to define. But an example would be C++. C++ is a high-level language that you do not need to. That's not very hectic. Okay, so without further ado, we're going to install an IDE today. An integrated development environment, and this integrated development environment is called CodeBlocks. So let me just get my magnifier on. Magnifier. Yeah, you can see that. That's good. So today we're gonna go over here, and as you can see, the URL that we're gonna go to is www.codeblocks.org/download/26. For me, I tend to select this CodeBlock 16.01 min.gw setup. There is an alternative to this. You can download Visual C++, which is a different program, and it's a different compiler. CodeBlocks 16.01 setup.exe, this one over here, doesn't have the compiler. So if you want a setup, an all-in-one setup with a compiler, you want to choose CodeBlocks 16.01 min.gw setup.exe. This will install the cross-platform GCC or G++ compiler on top of CodeBlocks, so that's good. And you're just going to download it from SourceForge, and I've already downloaded it, but let me just show you. You open CodeBlocks min.gw, and an exe file comes up, and then you just continue through the setup as needed. So yeah, once installed, you can go here and you can start a new project, and we're going to start a console application, and you're going to select a C++ application right here. And then you're just going to name a project title and a project file name. And after that, what you want to do is you want to open the file. So file, open, under that directory, and you select main, because that's the name of the CodeBlocks file. And we're gonna talk more about this later. This is called a header file. #include IOStream. IOStream contains the input-output necessities for C++. Using namespace std. Std is a standard namespace, and this is the main function, and you will always have a main function in your computer programs. This is cout hello world, and we'll show you what this program does later. An end line, and then it says return 0. Return 0 essentially means return without just close the program, return without error. So this line essentially makes sure, yes, our program will close. So we're going to select build and run over here, this icon over here. You can also go to build, run, build and run. So over here, I just build and run it. So as you can see, the program brings up this window. This is a command prompt, and it says hello world, process return 0. So this ensures the success of a program. Press any key to continue. And just to let you know what this end line is for, this end line allows you to go to the next line. So, okay, just press any key to continue, and I did, and then it just closes out. So that's our first computer program for today. And just remember, a compiler essentially translates machine code, translates C++ code into machine code, C++ into machine code. That's the basic, very basic definition, but it does sum up what happens in general. Anyways, I don't want to make this tutorial too long, so that's our first program, and I hope you guys enjoyed this first tutorial. Feel free to subscribe, and there are more to come.